afternoon, church.
Good afternoon.
Thank you for the wonderful service. Our youth choir and the church choir, you offered this congregation. Indeed, I know for a fact that once we get to heaven, there's nothing much to be doing apart from singing and giving glory to God. We thank the children corner specialist, Sister Rose, for the story which you given to the children. And I'm urging the children, now that you've heard your story, you also give us humble time to listen to ours as well. Children, are you there? Are you there? So keep quiet, and I will wish if one of the deaconess or deacons will sit between them. I feel privileged to have gotten a chance to preach on this day, whereby I've seen some wonderful work which has been done in this church. For those who is their today being their first time, those who are new in this church, we could feel the morning breeze through the windows. At times we feel like we are outside, but we thank God that today the development team have done some good work. They have put the glasses, and the floor is on the way to completion. And all this we give glory to God. So I feel privileged to have gotten a chance to preach on this church, which has been transformed over the months. Going back to the song we sang, that's 184. I feel tempted to correct something there on the chorus so that you feel the order of the song. That's Mark Norton felt when he really composed the song. I only have a problem with the chorus. Let's sing the chorus. I picked the song which in English says, "All things bright and beautiful," because at times when things are not beautiful and things are not bright, then definitely one aspect of our nature will not blossom or will not come out, will not manifest itself in ourselves. And that's the self-esteem. This song usually we sing it when, for example, we are having a wedding, we're having a family life seminar. But it's indeed that a song like that can really nurture us as a church, can really nurture us as a family to be able to come up with a self-esteem which we need in everything, in all aspects of life. somewhere in the course of the week there was a spectacular event which took place some 15 miles from Jerusalem. And this event took place in a valley whereby we are seeing a hill on the left-hand side and another hill on the right-hand side. Down in the valley there was a stream, and when you see on the far left, you could see a crowd of people gathered. With that morning brightness, you could see the shining of some materials or some items they were carrying. While on the other side, you could see another crowd trembling and fearing for their life. And down in the valley, we could see a giant and a small boy who seemed to be conversing. And of course, everyone was waiting, was holding their breath and waiting for the worst to happen. The little boy down the valley went down to the stream and picked some stones. Not 10 stones, not 20 stones, not 3, but just 5 smooth stones. People were wondering what kind of drama is he going to play. But he knew for a fact that these 5 smooth stones will serve his purpose. And that's why today's sermon, I've given it a title, The 5 Smooth Stones. We have all of us heard the story of David and Goliath for many years. And it's one of the stories which is exciting, which is really, you want to see the climax of it. And I think those people who were there during that time, they were holding their breath and wanting to see exactly what this young or small boy gonna do with this big man, a Philistine, whom they gave a name Goliath. The history shows that he was 9 feet tall. I don't know, Elder, how tall is the ceiling? Is it 9? Yes. So you could imagine somebody who his head is touching this rail. And this guy, he was trained as an army officer during his youth time. In other words, he was very experienced. He was very energetic, very strong. And the Bible says that he wore a bronze helmet. The helmet is that gear which the motorbikes nowadays are all over wear in their heads so that their heads are not injured. But it was not a plastic one, the one we see with the motorbikes, but it was a helmet made of bronze. And he was wearing an armor, ambao ni ngao in Swahili, which was weighing 5,000 shekels. When I was searching on the same, I realized that 5 shekels is equal to 57 kilograms. 57 kilograms, somebody carrying a hammer of 7 kilograms, I mean, this man should be very strong. Above that, his legs wore bronze grips. In other words, down there, his boots were bronze. And of course, he carried his javelin, his spear, which was weighing 600 shekels. So his 5,000 shekels is equal to 57 shekels. How many kgs are there in 600 shekels, mathematicians? Those who did well in mathematics school. If 5,000 is equal to 57 kgs. And what about 600 shekels? No mathematicians here? Well, you can calculate that in your own time. But it means that it is heavier than, it is slightly lesser because it's 600 and that was 5,000. So it means that it is what fraction? What hatujafanya hesabu eh? I'm talking of 600 shekels. If 5,000 shekels is equal to 57 kgs, 600 will be what? It is 600 divided by 5,000 times 57. You get the answer. What is it?
6.8.
About 6.8 kgs.
6.8. Yeah, so that's roughly about 6 or 7 kg. So you can imagine someone carrying a spear of that weight. Well, the little guy we are calling David, he was tending to his flock far away. But somehow this particular day, he was sent by the father to go and give some supplies to his brothers. You remember some of the brothers? One of the brothers of David? Good. So he went and he was given instruction by the father that you go and give them some supplies. And when he reached there, just like children, they want to see what is going to happen. When he saw a crowd on the other side and a crowd on that side. And these people were army men. And of course, he was being given some briefing from some guys that indeed it's a fight. The Philistine side, which we are seeing on the left-hand side, they have a soldier. They have a soldier and a half. They have a giant soldier. But the poor Israelites, the Israelite army, in their fear, you can see their small crowd. The Bible says that when this man could speak, he was so loud that the Israel army could run and hide under the bed. I'm talking about men. They could run and hide under any cover so that they are not killed. Because this man was very powerful and very strong. So this young man was being briefed that already the king has said, as King Saul, that whoever is going to defeat this guy, he will be given some goodies just for the good work. And of course, our families, whenever we see children come to the war front, we just tell them off. Let's hear what the brother says. Can someone read for us 1 Samuel 17, verse 28 to 29? Let's hear the eldest brother to David what he had to say about David, who has come to the front, the war front. Someone can read that?
And Eliab's eldest brother had when he spake unto the men, and Eliab's anger was kindled against David, and he said, Why camest thou down hither? And with whom hast thou left those few sheep in the wilderness? I know thy pride, and the naughtiness of thine heart, for thou art come down, that thou mightest see the battle. And David said, What have I now done? Is there not a cause?
Good. When you read the statement which Eliab is giving in that text, there is no single laugh you could see in that statement. First, the Bible opens by saying that his anger was kindled. In the sense that he felt hungry because of this little one who has come to the war front. He didn't even want to inquire exactly what he came for. Because remember, if you read that text from above, you realize that he was sent by the father to take them some supplies. So he didn't just go for the sake. But because in our families, we are authoritative. We just give orders. This is exactly what Eliab did. But the little one gave a soft answer to an arrogant answer. What did he say? What did you read? What did David say?
And David said, "What have I now done? Is there not a cause?"
Okay, I like that. Perhaps Eliab was saying that, well, this little one, instead of, in fact, when you read down there, you realize that he was telling the little guy that, well, you need to be tending the flock the other side. This is a man's business. You're just a kid. But again, David didn't give up. He heard the stories, and he was told what's happening. He was told what the president of that time, that was King Saul, what he said, and he just knew that indeed there's nothing is going to be difficult unto God, and he can always save the Israelites. So what he did, I think he didn't talk even to anybody. He just did what we read in Psalm 17 verse 40. Someone can read for us. The same book, 17 verse 40.
He took his shepherd's stick and then picked up 5 smooth stones from the stream and put them in his bag. This being ready, he went out to meet Goliath.
Exactly. He took his staff. You know, he was a shepherd, so he took his staff. He went to the stream. The King James calls the stream a pool, and he chose 5 smooth stones, and then he put them in his pouch. He had a pouch, just like the one the women carry, but remember the old one, how it looks, it carries some of the supplies. So he took the 5 stones and put them in his pouch, and of course he carried his sling. And he was ready to approach the Philistine. You could imagine the Eliab and his other brothers, how they felt when they see this young boy trying to approach the Philistine or the Goliath. I think their anger even multiplied. And you may wonder why he was picking the smooth stones and not the rough ones. I think through the media we've all been treated with youth carrying stones, throwing stones. We've seen even in the Middle East people carrying stones. And by the way, the Palestine is where you have all sorts of stones, the rough stones. And perhaps at times in the city, you, especially when we're having the matches, because you know them, people ask, by the way, are you sure the stadium is just clean, there's no stone? Where do they get the stones from? I also wonder where they get the stones from. So this place, Palestine, contrary, it had the best stones. And you know it was a valley. So you would expect all the best stones on the valley, the rough ones, because of course, you remember the Palestine is dry. You expect the rough stones, the big ones, which you feel that this one, ikigonga mtu, itamuumiza. But this young man, named David, he went to the stream and picked the 5 stones, smooth ones. Research shows that smooth stones when you release them, when you throw them, they move fast. And the calculation David did was that when he released one of the stones from his sling, it will move fast. And of course, the faster the stone moves, the heavier it becomes when it hits the target. And I think that's the logic he did. Where did he learn this from? You know, he was a shepherd. And he knew all these logics. He knew that a small stone can really do wonders. And there's one more thing which he did. Someone read verse 48.
And it came to pass when the Philistine arose and came and drew near to meet David, that David tested and ran toward the army to meet the Philistines.
Good. David, when he has armed himself with the stones and with a sling, and he was ready to attack the enemy, he didn't walk with fear to the enemy. He didn't have a second thought that he really didn't save me. You remember the person is about to approach is a giant which is 9 feet tall. And research shows that Saul, who was the king that time, was the tallest man in Israel. Inasmuch as he was strong and very strong, you could not equate him with the Philistine or Goliath. When you read the first few verses from that chapter, you realize that even when David went to Saul, of course, people told Saul that there's a young man who wants to go and face the Philistine. The king wanted to give him his helmet, wanted to give him his armor. And when David tried to put it on, you know something you are not used with, he felt that he cannot walk properly. He didn't have the freedom he wanted to face the enemy. So what he did, he said, well, I'll survive. But he knew that somewhere, someplace, somebody would give him some extraordinary powers or strength. So he ran to meet the Philistine. And I think this is the most spectacular area you may not want to miss. David is running towards the giant. And of course the giant on the other side was looking on a little boy running. And he felt that, what kind of game is he playing? But then something happened. Somebody read for us 49 and 50.
And David put his hand in his belt and took thence a stone and slung it, and smote the Philistine in his forehead, that the stone sank into his forehead, and he fell upon his face to the earth. So David prevailed over the Philistine with a sling and with a stone, and smote the Philistine and slew him, but there was no sword in the hand of David.
So just a single stone, he was able to bring down the giant who was really a threat to the Israel nation. And David didn't have even a sword. He went closer. When he has destabilized this giant with just a single stone, he went closer and took the sword of this giant, not his sword, and slit his throat. Lessons we are taking from there. David knew for a fact that God will make him victorious because he had a past record, the way the Lord has led him through the turbulent times. You remember, he was a shepherd, and if you read the text, we are not able to read everything. But if you read at your own time, you realize that at times, David could face the lions, the bears, and when they come to attack his flock, he could fight them. Not by his powers, but he knew that God is the one who gave him the powers to fight the lion. Don't think fighting a lion, an angry lion, is easy. Fighting an angry bear is easy. It's a task. But he knew that in the past, God has always led him through. And he knew on this particular occasion, it's going to make him victorious. Lesson number 1. Lesson number 2. We will always win if we use our ordinary talents, our ordinary natural gifts. At times, we feel that perhaps you need some intellectual, whatever, knowledge to be able to tackle this kind of trouble you're having in your life. This kind of uphill you're facing in your life. But your simple, natural talent you have will see you through. Whoever knew that the 5 stones, which were ordinary stones in the river or in the stream, could be a very important weapon for David. He didn't go to school. He didn't go to training to know how to fight. You remember I already said that Goliath was trained as a warrior or as an army officer from the time of his youth. So in other words, he had gone some training. So in other words, he knew how to fight. But David only used his experience as a shepherd. He used his simple materials he had at hand. He just went to the river and picked the stones, the 5 stones, and he was able to bring down the giant. Number 3, he was prepared for any eventuality. That's why I was asking, why do you think he didn't pick he didn't pick 1 stone or 2 or 3 or 5? I mean, or 4. But he knew there could be some miscalculation. So what he did, he carried 5 stones. So if the first one misses, the second one will not miss. If the second one will miss, then the third one, then the fourth, then the 5th. So he carried with him 5 of them. He knew any for a fact, at least one of them will get him. He knew he was ready for any eventuality. And of course, number 4, he did his part. In other words, God will come to our lives, God will come to our aid when we do our part faithfully. He did his work, he carried what he wanted to carry, he went to the stream and picked the 5 stones, he prepared himself, he communicated with his God, and he was ready for the job. He did his part. At times we ask ourselves now, well, I've looked for this employment for this many years. Well, I've really looked for this partner for all these years, I haven't gotten one. But you have a role to play as a person. You have to play your part, and God, of course, will prevail, and will, of course, add to whatever you've done. So at times, this life we are living, at times we may face some other challenges. God will not just come from heaven and bring unto you what you want like money. You have to do your work. David did stand in the valley and say, now God, deliver me, or deliver the Israelites. But instead, he did his part. He went to the river, picked the stones, he slung the stones and hit the enemy. So he had to play his part. Number 5, he had a positive attitude. He had a positive attitude. What is killing us, brothers and sisters, is our negative attitude when we are facing one another, when we are facing challenges in life. I like the attitude the Bypass had when they were starting the structure. They wanted to have a permanent concrete building. And some other people were saying that, I think the Bypass, they are ambitious. But I think they were not ambitious, they had a positive attitude. They knew that they will manage. And they had to play their part, as I said in number 4. Positive attitude. People were saying that, well, can they start small? Why are we underrating our God? Our God is able to give us big, to bless us in a big way if we have a positive attitude. But with a negative attitude, you'll always fail. How do you know whether you have a positive attitude? Perhaps we need to ask ourselves, but we get the subject. If, for example, you get somebody in a matatu, maybe you boarded a matatu together coming from town to Bypass here. Of course, when we sit with strangers, we don't talk. Do we? Do we? Suppose you greeted this person. What do you think would be the reply? Would he say yes, hi? Would he say hi? If you say hi, atajibu? Eh? Suppose you start a conversation. Would he respond? Yeah? The reason is because the person has a negative attitude, and as we have negative attitude, unaona kwamba ukimsalimia atajibu. Haya, ukianza conversation utaona kwamba labda huyu mtu ako too much. You need your peace. But I've seen people in matatus. There are people who I can say who have positive attitude. Even if you didn't want to talk, maybe you've like yesterday you were coming over from town. There was a very bad traffic over the Bypass road because of the graduation of the AP personnel. People in a matatu were talking. Others were saying that, well, I mean, this is unfair for us to keep us waiting for this long. Where is the police? Where is the government? And all that. But I remember one person who was saying, but if your son was graduating, would you be complaining? And for a fact, if it was one of your kids who was graduating, would you complain? Because you really came to see him off. So at times, our attitude are the ones make us behave the way we do. The attitude Eliab had upon his brother David, that David after all is a kid, why should he come to the war front? That's why he was answering the way he was answering. The attitude we have is what makes us to be rude the way we are rude to one another. The attitude we have as Christians is what makes us even not to input all our efforts to God's work. Because perhaps we feel that, well, as a person, I don't have the potential to work. I don't have a potential to even evangelize. I don't have the potential to even sing. So why should I even start in the first place? But if we had a positive attitude that I can, through God's grace, we can all be singers, for instance. We can all of us be joyous and walk in the Spirit. Number 6, David trusted in God. In whatever you do, trust in God and you see the difference. In whatever you plan to do, put God first. Trust in Him and believe that it's gonna make you victorious. I'm telling you can. I think all of us, we have a story to give, the way God has led you all through the years. And you can really testify and say, well, I saw God's hand. And why you are able to do that? Because you trusted in God. Many people, maybe they will look down on you and say, after all, do we expect something from this person? Where I come from, I don't have the right statistics, but I know for a fact that in Kisii, some areas of Kisii, I know some areas of Kisii, they are doing well economically. But where I come from, people eat avocados for their suppers and lunch. Do you believe that? Some of us who are seated here have perhaps come from such kind of families. And the people could say, can anything good come from that family? Can anything good come from people ambao wanakula avocado wanalala? But after all, sipafura ni chakula. People have despised you. People have despised your family. People have looked down on you because of some inabilities. But somehow God has heard your prayers, and now you could stand and say, well, we are here because we trusted in God. And of course, the 7th one and the last one, David left nothing to chance. When we face a crisis in life, when you face a crisis in relationship, that's for the young people. When you face a crisis in your marriages, the married ones. When you face a crisis, be either what nature, maybe at your place of work, wherever, a major one, we need not to be negative and say, well, I'm now done. But God always opens an opportunity for that. It becomes an opportunity for you and not a threat. That's why David, when he was facing this Goliath, this giant, it was a crisis. I mean, everybody was saying that this little boy Jesse atauawa. So Eliab, I'm sure, was really burning with anger. The little one, did I even nimwambia rudi nyumbani? But David knew that out of this crisis, out of these challenges facing, there is an opportunity. God will give an opportunity. And of course, he didn't fear. That's why he ran to the enemy and struck him. At times, as Christians, we face some problematic moments. Maybe you lose a job. You can imagine when you lose a job, you have a family to take care. Even if you don't have a family, of course, you're a young person, you lose a job. Of course, you start tarmacking again. Maybe your people home who are waiting for that, they've been depending on you. You lose it. Maybe you lose your loved one, or your relationship breaks, for example, the young people. Maybe your family has challenges here and there. You should not be negative and say, now we are done, and kila mtu ajitetee kivyake. But use that one as an opportunity to seek the hand of God, which David did. The Israelites, I think they were mourning. They were saying, now, why did God allow even a giant? Instead of a giant on our side as Israelites, why did He give the Philistines a giant? Angekuwa kwetu. At times when we are young, we could admire some other families. I wish somebody family is quiet. We are tempted to think that. But the challenge we face, if we look it on a positive perception and say that I'm using this challenge as an opportunity, I'm telling you, you'll make it. And I agree with this perception, because even psychology agrees that just do your own statistics. Just focus kule nyumbani kwa mali umetoka ama Nairobi, wherever you are. You get somebody who has come from a very poor background does wonders if, for example, you are using the indicators of maybe passing to university or doing the best maybe in academic sphere. You get somebody who has gotten all the books, who has everything, who is even paying for under tuition, who is given even pocket money. When it comes to performance in academic sphere, unapata kwamba is far behind. But this person ambaye hata hakuwa anaenda tuition anasomea tu kwa nyumba, he had his challenges and all that, he does very well in that. Why? Because the challenges he's facing or she's facing makes him to work harder. Makes him feel that, let me use this one as an opportunity to work hard. Because at times, until we face a problem, we may not know a problem. So when we face challenges in our lives, problems and all that, we should not feel bad. Instead, they are refining us. They are making us to be better. They are making us even to be more responsible in this life. And that's why David didn't take anything to chance. He knew that I have to win in this war. And they won the war. My last verse, which is taken from the same book, verse 47. There's one thing which David knew for a fact. That the kind of war he's about to fight, or he has fought, was not his own war. It was for somebody else. Let's know who is verse 47.
And all this assembly shall know that the Lord saveth not with sword and spear, for the battle is the Lord's, and He will give you into our hands.
The battle is the Lord's. The challenges you are facing, don't be confrontational. That's my piece of advice. The challenges you are facing in life, don't force things. Because it's not the war between the Philistine and the Israelites. It's not the war between you and him or her. But it's the battle of the Lord. And if you allow Him to reign, then definitely you become out victorious. At times when we face some of these challenges in life, these upheavals in life, we become personal. We become confrontational. We don't want to lower ourselves down. We want to fight on using our physical strength. But of course, you know the story very well of them we have just seen through. That he didn't go with the helmet of the king. He didn't go with the armor of the king. But he went with his small way. In his way as a shepherd. And he was able to bring down the giant. So my encouraging message this morning is for all of us to appreciate the fact that the challenges we are facing in this life will always succeed if we co-opt God in our challenges. If we bring Him unto our challenges, He's going to give us a solution. The battle is not for us, but it's the battle for God. And indeed, when you read the last verses, 50 and continuing somewhere there, you will discover that the Israelites, because of the humility of the young man David, were able to prevail over the Philistine and the Goliath for that matter. When you read there, I think when David was able to slay the Philistine, of course the Philistines could not stand. They ran away, and of course the Israelites chased them and killed them because of a simple person, a humble person they never expected, but who came to their rescue. Remember, his mission was not to come and fight. He had only carried some supplies, maybe some food to his brothers who were in the war front. But he was a solution to their problems. I usually say that at times opportunities are many. People may say that opportunities are many. But opportunities are scarce. They may come to you once and not see them again. The problem you are facing should sharpen you to be a better person, to be a person who you can give another person some encouragement that, you know, I also face the same, but I was able to come out victorious. So we should not curse about God that we are facing all this, but we should thank Him because of this. Because out of the problems, we are able to get opportunities. We are able to learn some lessons which we can share with our brothers. With those men remarks, may God bless all of us. And may we, all of us, give unto the Lord to fight for us, and indeed we're going to be victorious. God bless you. Amen.
Times we give up, when faith we triumph, but the Lord has Let your hearts not be troubled now, but tomorrow lift all your burdens on Calvary, pressing on, never again to give up. Our Savior soon is coming to take us home. At the time you feel weak, when strength needs no strength.